I'm Crystal Tedesco. I am allergic to dairy and to eggs, and I also have celiac disease, and I'm vegan by choice.
Looking for it because I have to get gluten-free and no milk, so maybe? Lots of ingredient reading. This one's actually good. All right.
Well, I actually found out that I had celiac disease the day I moved into my dorm room at Elon. I was literally putting sheets on my bed when my cell phone rang, and it was my doctor, and he called me and he was like, "Oh, your blood work came back. You have celiac disease." And I was like, "What's that?" I was a pretty tiny, skinny kid, and I was a dancer, so people just went, "Oh, you're working too hard," But really, I was malnourished. Being thin and not eating very much or having trouble with food is like, "Oh, you're just a dancer." Like, people were like, go eat a real meal, maybe your stomach won't hurt. And it came to a point where when I was eating food, like everything was making me sick. So I wasn't really eating much. Now, 3 years later, I feel like it's a bit more accepted and more advertised, and you'll see like commercials, "Oh, gluten-free," but 3 years ago, it wasn't. Gluten isn't everything, and as I reduced the amount of gluten in my diet, the reactions to it actually increased. My body built up more antibodies against it. My intestines were even more damaged, so I just became sicker and sicker and wasn't even aware that the food that I thought was safe wasn't safe. And I think there's a lot of misconceptions that it's like an allergy or like a fad diet, or that I choose to eat this way. And that's probably the most frustrating part of it, because now that it is like out in the mainstream media, people hear gluten-free, but they think it's a choice or a trend, as opposed to, I have a serious disease that's like similar to like diabetes. Like if you have sugar, too much sugar or not enough sugar, it's like that severe. Where that's the stressful part of it, I think, is saying like, "No, I can't eat this because it will seriously hurt my body." And it's not just because I'm picky or I don't want to, or, I want to be thin. It changed from being like food's a social, fun, happy thing to food is fuel for my body. I overheard people talking in Acorn that were like, oh, we have to put the special bread over here. People have to, every once in a while, we have somebody who comes in wants that special bread. Like, oh, these picky people. And they don't understand that, like, that person needs that bread so they can have a sandwich like a normal college student in between their classes. And so that makes me nervous that people aren't educated.
So once you're 21, you're going to buy all our alcohol from here?
Oh, well, the wine select, my roommates are 21 and they said the wine here is really great. So it's a lot of like local wineries, and I want to get quality product as opposed to $3. This is like tapenade. It's artichokes, sun-dried tomatoes, like really good on crackers. I'm starving. It's bad when I come here when I'm hungry because I spend a lot more money. Breakfast is definitely like the hardest thing for me to shop for, because they do have options, but gluten-free in the morning is not always the best.
I was actually told, when I came back to Elon after months of getting better at home, working with my doctors, working on my diet, I came back to Elon, and I was nervous first coming down here. I talked to the director of the dance department, and she was so excited. She's like, "I have to tell you something, And I was like, she's like, "We have a food co-op. We have an organic food co-op." And I was like, "Where? In Greensboro?" She was like, no, you have to go. So I went, and I was like giggling like a little girl when I got there. I was like, "Oh my God, I can eat this! This is great!" And like everything is labeled. I love that it's a small like business, that it's not one of these corporations. That the people there are really passionate about their products too, and they're really helpful. I remember I walked in, somebody was like, "Can I help you with something?" I was like, "Yeah, I'm gluten-free. Can you show me?" They're like, "Oh, well, it's everywhere." And just the environment there makes me happy. People that want to help you, and food that's fresh and good fuel for my body.
I try to get stuff that's like quick and easy to prepare during the week, especially the finals are coming up, which like it can be a struggle when you're trying to be vegan and gluten-free, but there's some really great products.
The biggest problem with celiac disease is that it gets in the way of my social life. So I can't want to go to cookout? Like, no, I don't. Like, that's like the last place. I mean, like, even like if my boyfriend drinks a beer, I can't kiss him because I'll get sick. So it completely changed my life, and now I'm kind of thankful for it because I feel like it really made me a more health conscious, body conscious person. So the food co-op's a place, like on Fridays I can go with my friends. Like I go with my friend Alex. There's live bands. I can get the food that is good for me, and I can feel like a normal person. We have some index cards in our kitchen on our cabinets. My roommates are also pretty health conscious, and there's one up there that says it says eat for fuel, not for comfort. And I think that says it all as far as like staying away from the fast food and staying away from the convenience of it. That you have to think like, I only have one body, and I want it to be like the best it can be. I want it to, like, my machine to function as best as you can. And you think about it, you take care of your electronics, like your MacBook, you put a case on it, make sure it's clean. Like, why wouldn't you want to do that for your body? It's a bit more difficult. It takes a lot of planning. Can be expensive to get like the products that I need, just because they aren't the popular thing. You could go get a meal at the dollar menu because it's popular, and just it's cheaply made food, so it's cheap. But when you get quality products, whole grains, fresh fruit, fresh vegetables, locally grown, organic, it's so much more rewarding to like sit down and have a meal and know like this is good for me, this tastes good. It might have required a lot of extra effort, a lot of extra thinking, but it's the best thing I can do for my body. I definitely want to say, no matter what you've like heard or what your friends do, or what you've seen the latest fads and diets or commercials, is to really do research and figure out what is the best diet for your body and make a decision from there, and not to be influenced by friends, peers, consumer culture, and just go out there and say, I only have one of these, I want to do what's good for it. And if someone's gluten-free, it's probably not because they're picky or want to be skinny. It's probably because they have no choice. And so if you're ever in a situation with someone is gluten-free or vegan or vegetarian or whatever, just support their choice.